oh wow, Dallas might actually have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Welcome, everybody, to JG9 News, where we talk all things NFL all the time. I'm Jared here, and I'm representing the 904 from the 602. And today, we are talking about this team behind me right here, the Kansas City Chiefs, because earlier this week, there was a vote in Jackson County about the renovations to Arrowhead Stadium and building a new stadium in downtown Kansas City for the Kansas City Royals of Major League Baseball as they would move out of Kauffman Stadium. And the voters overwhelmingly rejected this notion. It's not going to be publicly funded. Over 58% of people that voted rejected this measure on the ballot. And now the Chiefs and the Royals in Jackson County have to scramble to figure out how they're going to renovate Arrowhead Stadium or what the future of the Chiefs and Royals will be. Maybe they build a new stadium somewhere else, somewhere outside of Jackson County. Who knows? But other cities took note of this, and they're trying to get the Chiefs to come to their city. And one of them is Dallas. Yes, seriously, I'm not making this up. Dallas seriously wants to get the Kansas City Chiefs to relocate there as the team that has the Dallas Cowboys. This, according to Mayor Eric L. Johnson of Dallas, he put out a tweet the other day saying, "Welcome home, Dallas Texans," with a smiley face, hashtag Cotton Bowl. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, Mayor Johnson, he might just be joking, he might just be making fun of this, he might be making a mountain out of the molehill. This is a complete non-story. But no, Mayor Johnson has been adamant for a long, long time now trying to get a second NFL team to Dallas and try to have them in the metro area by the Cotton Bowl. Back in 2022, Johnson quote tweeted something by NFL on CBS. The NFL on CBS account put out a tweet that said, "If the NFL announced a new expansion team, what city do you think most deserves it?" And Mayor Johnson said, "The answer is Dallas." Why? "We are about to pass the Chicago Metro and become the number 3 metro in the U.S., which would make us the largest metro without 2S teams in the U.S. Football is king here. Dallas needs an expansion team, and we would be able to sustain 2 NFL teams better than L.A. or New York." Now, New York is that's a bold claim there. That's a bold claim, because I think New York's are just fine supporting the Giants and the Jets, and they have for years. But he does continue saying, "We need an AFC team that plays in Southern Dallas. It would never want for a fan base or attendance or support from the city of Dallas. Who wouldn't want to see a Dallas versus Dallas Super Bowl in the city of Dallas?" And then he also added just the other day, yesterday, about the Chiefs vote, Dallas was named the top sports city in the United States because we play to win. As I said previously, our market is big enough, growing enough, and loves football more than enough to support a second team, especially a franchise and an owner with deep roots here. So he is being completely serious. He wants the Kansas City Chiefs to move to Dallas and for Dallas to have 2 NFL teams. Now, I can just tell you right off the bat, Mayor Johnson, I appreciate the enthusiasm, I appreciate the ambition, but this is never going to happen. This is never going to happen. There's no way on God's green earth that the Kansas City Chiefs are moving back to Dallas, where they originally started as the Dallas Texans. For one, look at the markets in the United States with 2 professional sports teams across the big 4 leagues, so NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL. You can even throw MLS into the mix. But New York, 8.3 million people, that's number 1. LA, 3.8 million people, that's number 2. Chicago, 2.7 million people, that's number 3. Dallas, as a city, 1.3 million people. That's the number 9 largest city in the U.S. Now, it's a large city, don't get me wrong, but that's half the number of the lowest populated city to have 2 teams in 1 league. Even if we're looking at metro areas, it's still bad for DFW, because the metro area is 7.9 million, and yes, it's number 4 in the country, number 5 in North America, Mexico City being the other city there, but it's still the smallest by a lot. 19.6 million in New York City in that metro area, 12.9 million in the LA metro area, 9.3 million in the Chicago metro area, so it's still a significant drop-off. So there is the obvious doubt that Dallas could support 2 teams, because they would be by far the smallest market in the United States to have 2 professional sporting teams in the same league. Here's the other problem. The problem with Kansas City and Jackson County was they couldn't get taxpayers to agree on a stadium. Why on earth would you think Dallas would be any different? Because obviously Hunt is not funding the stadium by itself. It's not privately funded. If he was going to do that, he would just do that in Kansas City. You really think you're going to get the taxpayers to pay for a stadium for a team that they don't even like or necessarily want because they're Cowboy fans? Look, it's hard enough getting people to pay for a stadium as it is when they are getting a team for the first time, or when they're getting it, or when they have a team already and they're trying to keep them. You think that Dallas, which is diehard Cowboys country, is going to get their people to want to fund this stadium? How does that make any sense? It's not going to happen. And on top of that, there's going to be outrage over tearing down or significantly remodeling the Cotton Bowl, because that seems to be where Mayor Johnson would put this team. That seems to be where it would be on the site of the Cotton Bowl. The Texas State Fair would throw a fit, because it would take years to do this, and that means less revenue because Texas, Oklahoma couldn't take place there during those years. So they're not going to be happy about this. They're already dumping $140 million into renovating the Cotton Bowl. So if the Chiefs move, that money that you just spent 9 figures, that's going down the drain, because they'll have to tear that thing down and basically build a brand new stadium. And keep in mind, these renovations to the Cotton Bowl are not making it up to NFL quality. It's not like the Chiefs could just move into the Cotton Bowl. It's not like that at all. The renovations have nothing to do with seats or the scoreboards. You're still playing on bleachers. You're still playing in a very old stadium. It's just about renovating the bathrooms and concessions and winding the concourses to make it like 21st century code. So you would still have to build a brand new stadium on the site of the Cotton Bowl. People are going to be outraged over tearing down the Cotton Bowl. You're going to be outraged over spending what would probably be $2 billion, at least $1.5 billion, to build this thing for a team that really no one wants in Dallas anyways, because they're just going to support the Cowboys. And on top of that, let's say in this crazy hypothetical scenario that, you know what, the people of Dallas want the Chiefs. They want 2 teams. They're willing to do this. They're willing to pay this money. They're willing to bend over to get Hunt to move the team to Dallas, and Mayor Johnson gets his wish. Well, you still need the owners to agree on the move. You can't just declare that you're moving a team. You need 75% of the owners to agree on a move. Jerry Jones would get enough people to shoot that thing down. He would get enough people to shoot that thing down. Jerry Jones flat out said on the possibility of a second team in Dallas, he said, quote, "You can be rest assured that you would not have the NFL supporting another team because of the kind of value that the game and the NFL receives of having the Dallas Cowboys as one of its marquee teams." And again, logic tells you the NFL wouldn't want to water that down. So there is no chance whatsoever that the owners would agree on this. The Cowboys would shoot it down. The Texans would shoot it down for geographic purposes. The Saints would also likely shoot that down for geographic purposes, because it means fewer fans that would potentially be fans of the Saints in that northwestern part of Louisiana. The whole point of relocation for teams and expansion is to get into a new market, get into untapped waters. Now, the Chargers was a bit different. It's apples and oranges compared to the Chiefs. But moving the Chiefs to Dallas benefits absolutely no one from a league perspective. Yeah, you're moving them into a bigger market, but the Chiefs get massive ratings as it is. If anything, the ratings would probably go down in Dallas, because a lot of Chiefs fans would just abandon the team. A lot of NFL fans would just abandon the league if they could move one of the premier franchises to another city. And on top of that, remember, just because you play in a big market doesn't mean you get TV ratings. Look at the Los Angeles Chargers. They're second fiddle in their own city in LA. They played a playoff game against the Jaguars. It was the lowest rated NBC wildcard Saturday night game in over a decade. And that was a great game. That game, getting down to the last second, was a 27-0 comeback. And that game drew terrible ratings from a playoff perspective. So just because you're in a big market doesn't mean, if you're second fiddle, that you are going to get good TV ratings. And it makes no sense, because the Chiefs already get great TV ratings, and they have for quite some time, and they have a premier fan base. It doesn't make any sense for the Chiefs to move to Dallas. Again, I don't think they're moving to Dallas, but the mayor really wants it to happen. And I can just tell you right now, no chance. I don't know what happens with the Chiefs. I don't know what happens with the stadium. Maybe they move somewhere else in the area. I don't think they're leaving the Kansas City metro area. Let's just make that very clear. They're not leaving the Kansas City metro area. Whether they're in Jackson County, I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens with the Chiefs and the Royals. But I can tell you this much. The Chiefs, despite Mayor Johnson's wishes, they're not going to Dallas anytime soon. They're not going to Dallas. The league would shoot that down. I don't think Dallas wants the Chiefs. I don't think they want to spend billions of dollars on a publicly funded stadium when they already have a team, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for them to do so. But I appreciate the ambition, Mayor Johnson. I appreciate the ambition, but just statistically speaking, based on the market sizes and based on everything we talked about, there is no logical reason for the Chiefs to move to Dallas. But what are your thoughts? Do you think Dallas can support 2 professional sports teams in the same league? Do you think they can do it in the NBA, MLB, NHL? Do you think they can do it in the NFL? On top of that, what do you think happens with the Chiefs? Do you think they get renovations at Arrowhead Stadium? Do you think they move to a different stadium somewhere else in Kansas or Missouri? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That's going to do it for this episode of JG9 News. Be sure you like and subscribe, helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check my main channel, Jaguar9, where we talk all things NFL history all the time. Until next time, this is Jaguar9 signing off, and as always, go Jags.